Hello and welcome to the Inner Power podcast, another episode in the season 3. And today's episode, we're gonna interview Matt. We're gonna take you under the magnifying glass for a change.
Grab my comfort cup of tea.
So let's talk about you a little bit. Obviously, at the moment we are at Academy, beautiful Academy that went through a lot of transformation recently, right?
This is our new podcast there as well, and seating.
Yeah. I think we will have to just drop some pictures on our page just to share it with the audience so they can see it. But I would like to firstly find out a little bit more. How did you get into martial arts, and how did you become a founder and owner of Cheltenham Martial Arts Academy?
Well, this is going to be a long answer.
Well, just so try to give it in a.
I'll keep it
short.
as short as I can. So I first did martial arts about now I've got to give my age away. And someone yesterday said I look 30. I don't want to make a big deal about it, but someone said I was 30. I'm not going to bang on about it, but that's what said, that I look 30. I was like, thank you very much.
All right. So
anyway, it was 40 years ago.
Now I understand why this answer might be really long.
Yeah, no. Okay. So my mum encouraged me to do judo, and I didn't really know what that was. So obviously, way back, I was about 8 years old. Oh no, give me age away, but it's giving away anyway. Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So I went along to my local primary school. I think it was Friday evenings, and started judo. I asked my mum, what is it? I don't know what this is. And she said, "Oh, you throw people around." So then I remember just waiting for this initial start date, and we had this like cuddly toy dolphin or whatever it was. So I was like flinging that on the bed in preparation for it, and joined, and I just loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was only once a week, unfortunately. So it was one of the teachers used to drive to the school and drive around different places. I guess that was, they had a daytime job. Part of the.
That's how I started.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You had to get the mats out of the van, and when it was summer, we used to do it in the playground, like on the hard concrete, and it was kind of nice because it was warm, but at the same time, you really felt the concrete underneath these mats, and put the canvas down, and then put them all back, and then have to take them out because we hadn't done it tidy, and put them back in again. But I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I moved away. Unfortunately or fortunately, I moved away from that area and couldn't really find another one. I don't know even know if that's probably not still going, because I remember there was a lady instructor, and then her son took over at some point. So so that's how I initially got started. Did that for just over 3 years, I think. Got to yellow belt. So
cool.
And then I tried kung fu as a teenager. Really enjoyed that, but I went back the next week. The guy wasn't there, just gone. So I think he tried to set up or whatever, and I was like, that really frustrated, because it took at that point, confidence was wherever it was. So it took a lot for me to go. Went with one friend for the trial, and then went back the next week with a different friend, and they weren't there. I was like, oh.
Okay, so you started with judo, then it was a little bit of
kung fu,
right?
Then fantasizing of I'd be walking home one day and some Chinese master might just like open the door and say, "Come on in, I'll teach you everything you need to know." Seriously, I've not told many people that.
There we go, secrets being revealed on this episode.
No, a bit questionable.
That's not the style that you're teaching. So tell me a little bit about
where I am now, yeah. So that has contributed a lot. It has contributed a lot. I'd heard about my instructor Stephen Thompson long before I decided to go along to one of his classes. Did some traveling, and whilst I was away, I thought I've always had this thing about martial arts, so I'm going to take it up when I get back. It was what I wanted to do. I felt black belt was like this myth sort of thing. So we're talking about. When did I go traveling? 99, so it was just around about in the 99. I came back from traveling, and I thought I'm gonna do Aikido. That'll do. It's because didn't really know. I had to pick something, right? And then sat in a pub one day for some friends, and the guy said, "I'm gonna go and check out this kickboxing place in Gloucester. Stephen was at Bristol Road at that time, and he said, "Oh, he's a champion kickboxer. He's world champion. He's for however many years. I think it's 10 years. Stephen was world champion for." I said, "Okay, let's go down." I thought, you know what, I wanted to work on my fitness a little bit. I was doing just exercises at home, right? I thought I'll go for my fitness. That is why I'm going to join that. So went down, did a kickboxing class with Steve. Oh my god, I absolutely loved it. And just kept going because when I went traveling, I'd sold my car, right? So I had to rely on friends to pick me up, and they weren't maybe it wasn't for them, which is fine. So the reason I bought a car again was so I could get down there and do my training. That became my mission, because it's like, no, I don't want to stop doing this. I'm really enjoying it. Got well into it. Didn't think much about a black belt, I have to be honest, at the time. And then I think the first grading come up. I don't know if I won't bother with that because I didn't know any better. Obviously, I understand loads more now, right? And Stephen said, well, if you're just going to stay in this class, you're just staying beginners. If you don't grade, you're just going to stay as a beginner level. There's your intermediate, and we have an advanced class. I was thinking, okay, so what? There's more. Okay, let's do that. So that went through, carried on with the kickboxing. Then I think going for my orange belt, we started. That was when the Wadaroo karate was introduced, and again, it was a bit of I wasn't used to change. I don't think on hindsight, change wasn't a great thing for me back then. Whereas now, I really embrace it as much as I can. But to get this belt, you're going to have to do some Wadaroo. I don't want to do karate. I'm happy with the kickboxing. Did the karate. Oh my god, I love this, and that was it. Then I was off. I was quite fortunate in my training. Stephen did employ quite a few different instructors, which I feel I benefited a lot from, because I picked up on everyone got their own unique way, from your own martial arts experience. So everyone got their own unique way, and actually they were all really good, all really great instructors. And I just remember a few. I can't remember his second name, but I remember his name was Terry. So, Matt, you've got some really strong punches here on the when we're working pads, and he said, if you had to defend yourself, you'd hurt someone or something like that. It wasn't meant the intent of hurt. It was just whatever. I can't remember the exact words, but it really boosted my confidence, a lot. And just how they praised me, it felt genuine. I'm not. I never needed to be the best martial arts artist in the world. But I knew I was, and I felt good. I felt, I'm getting this, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then Stephen's always had an open mind, so his background was karate and then kickboxing. He studied some kung fu to help him compete, so he always had this open-minded approach to the training. So he introduced some other different martial art styles to test out really and try out. So
Would you say,
judo? I was like, yes! Oh my god! Back to judo. It was we did that for about 3 months.
Would you say he was the mentor number one who opened your mind up to the possibilities, and or maybe made you hungry to explore and see what else is out there?
Yeah. So in that sense, 100%. Because I was an engineer at the time, and it's more on hindsight that I can look back and I can see people within that, when I was in that role, as mentors as well. But obviously not martial arts necessarily, business. But a lot of the good stuff I learned, I've been able to apply into what I'm doing. So I can't really knock that.
Of course not.
Before I may not have said so much about it, but it's obviously as we grow younger. We kind of look things back, but definitely 100% Stephen. Really, he put me on such an amazing path, and that's why it was very important to me when, I'm sure we'll get onto that, but when I kind of broke away, but not broke away. I took this on as my own rather than it just made sense for both of us at the time. That's why he's, you know, such an important person within my life. I will always see him as my instructor, and you know, his good friend Everton Smith, over in Newport Martial Arts. So they're very important to me in my journey, because they've seen something in me that I didn't see. Stephen, you know, he moved a little bit away from, obviously you only do competing for so long from his point of view for himself. So he really got into personal development. So whether I would have heard or say the likes of Tony Robbins, I don't know, but through his mentorship, that's how I came about understanding what's personal development, and you know, the power of that. And I think I feel quite privileged that my journey with Stephen as well, I got to see that transition into it, and yeah, the power of that. And as it started to become more and more part of, you know, what he wanted, and obviously then eventually he seen something in me that I did a course through Stephen to learn a bit more about the martial arts business side of things, of course, and you know, how to run a school and an academy, and you know, how to maintain, you know, those standards.
But isn't that interesting? Like, because as I'm listening to you, I hear, you know, all of those wonderful things that you've got from being surrounded by such amazing people, amazing coaches. And obviously you've been running your own school for how long? 15 years now?
So yeah, I left 2005, handed my notice in as an electrical engineer for the last time, because I'd left twice before that, the same place, to go traveling. So that, you know, my traveling experience, you know, was a big part of, you know, that played a massive part, I think, in, you know, where I am at as well. So yeah, I did this course with Stephen. Well, initially what happened, Ange, is that I was training one day, and there was like an assistant instructor course that came up, and not interested in that, no interest at all in teaching. It sounds great. Again, it's one of these things that's for someone else, and can't remember, because it took about 5 years to get my Wado black belt, with about a 6-month gap to, you know, go off traveling again, basically. Where was I at? So yeah, they were talking about this course, and he come in, say about it, blah, come out. No, not for me. And the one day he came in, he said, you know, even if it is that you want this, you know, this course on an assistant instructor, it will help improve your martial arts. That was it. You said that in the first place, I'm sold. So, I mean, I was training like sometime, definitely twice a week. If I missed, if it was down to one, then I must have been exhausted. And all I would think is, I just got to turn up. On a bad day at work, I'll turn up. And then there's a couple of points I was training pretty much most nights, and obviously they would do, well, not obviously, but Stephen was then running some more leadership courses and teacher training courses. So I was really signing up to everything that I could do, you know, in terms of the martial arts, and learning what I could, and then working on my personal development at the same time. So I did this assistant instructor's course. I thought, I quite like this. Started helping out at birthday parties, and then I would just assist in class. And to pass this assistant instructor's course, because the only way I could pass, I think I was doing all the work. We were talking a lot about personal development. Got my first audio was Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So that was the first personal development audio CD, because we had to do that to pass this course.
Do you remember the with John Band?
I can't. No, I can't. No, I just remember putting it, you know, CD in the car. Yeah. Didn't have the MP3s then or whatever.
Oh my gosh, times. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time. So this was about 2002. Was it 2002? 2003. 2003, my apologies. So 2003, I'm a stickler for dates, you know. 2003, did this course, and then I think he was trying to get, you had to come and assist in the class to pass the course, right? I thought, I'm not standing at the front of a class, because it was about 30, 40, sometimes 60. It was a big room. Sometimes there was quite a lot of people training there. It was a big old room. something else, a similar sort of gym or martial arts centre now, but Stephen's elsewhere. No, not a chance. And he grabbed me. I think we had 1 week left of this 6-week course. I was just running out. He said, if you don't come in and assist, then you'll fail this course. Now, I didn't do great at my exams. I thought, no, I'm not failing another thing. So I was just going to suck it up. I'll stand there. And as soon as I realised that actually no one's looking at me, they're looking at the instructor, I was right. And because I was obviously quite a high grade. I got my black belt 2002. That's where so 2002 I got my first dan. So as a black belt, maybe I felt a bit nervous, a bit of imposter syndrome might have been kicking in, and go and help them on the pads, go and show them this on the pads, go hold the pads. So I was straight away involved, not just stood there like encouraged them to walk around. So finished the course and I just carried on assisting. So I would assist I'd assist in the class before I would teach, before I would train, basically, because I felt it's going clean stuff, and then I'll train after I've done my assisting. I absolutely loved it. Then I was asked to do birthday parties, and Stephen was opening up another academy then in Gloucester. It's just still there. His sister runs it's called Jamax. Runs something else there. So joined up on it. It's called Career Intense Training. So I think about 6 or 8 months later, I was thinking I can't stay where I'm staying. It wasn't bringing the best out of me anymore. Probably it wasn't very nice to work with by that point. I don't know, but it was a long time ago. I thought I need to leave, and then obviously I heard that they was opening up this other academy. Had a chat with Stephen about it, and it was obviously I had a good career. Drove back home before I'd probably. I remember where I was actually because I used to live in Avenue, so I got to Eastern Avenue in Gloucester. Gone up to the traffic lights. Thought, no, this is it. This is what I'm doing. Went back, signed up. And there was about 15 people signed up for this course, and there was like one job available. And I just thought that is going to be mine. I got a lot of work to do on my confidence.
And you got it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I think I had maybe a bit of nudging from. So what happens? There was someone I was training with, Stuart Davis. He'd pretty much been offered the role of head instructor at that academy at the time. So this was we're coming up to about 2004, and I'd made that decision. So we were on this career intense training. So I'd be training every Monday, then go and learn as much as I could about systems and what to say, when to say it, how to say it. Obviously, there was promotional work involved then, where we would go uptown and bow to someone, stick out a hand, and try and see if they would, we could generate up a bit of interest in them. Then perhaps coming to have a look and see what it was all about. So that was a big barrier for me to have to get over.
Well, so it sounds like you've been, like a journey and a half from where you were to where you are right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just scraping the surface, right?
Well, so maybe we're gonna, just
Slow
jump
down.
to another question because, I've got a few more questions I would like to ask you about, and I love listening to your story, but you have so much condensed amount of information, so much of information right there that I think we'll have to do a separate recording just for that alone. I would like to ask you.
Write another book, right?
Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So I would like to know, as we're just moving, fast forward to today.
Yeah.
What is the current direction of the academy, and what led you to choose that direction?
Right. So again, I got to big up some mentors that I've had. It'll always come back to Stephen. All right. So in the end, I went to work as an assistant instructor in Gloucester, a brand new location, and helped build that to about, I think it was around 200 members. I want to say 9 to 12 months. It was something like that. So obviously, that was a big thing. I had a lot, and coming onto that team, it was some of the best days of my life. we would have staff training. That was twice a week in the mornings on Wednesday, and talking about obviously where we're at. A lot of personal development, a high energy team, really so supportive of each other at that time. I literally went from, you imagine going 0 to 60 in a 0.2 seconds or whatever. It really felt like that. There was days I was really exhausted because I was working quite long days. So I was so determined to make that work because it was like I'd given up a career to do that, to do this new thing, and there was a massive risk, massive risk, because I'm going into a job where there was no members, basically. So did that, and then 2 years we came to Cheltenham. Stephen invested in up on the high street, for those that know Cheltenham. So it was part of Karate World then. My name went on a lease. That was really to protect him, which makes sense. Stephen invested the money. We had an agreement that obviously I was paid during that time, but my pay would stay quite low until like what had been invested was paid back. So straight away I'm determined to do that. So we got to about 200. That was within 6 to 9 months, so a bit more experience now. And it just hit, basically. So obviously with the personal development, that was a big unique selling point. And then as time went on, we moved location again. Things changed a little bit, and then Stephen, we had a conversation. So, you mentioned about buying this. Would you be interested in buying your location out? I said, yeah, let's do it. And I'm happy about that. A few people have left in the past and done their own thing, but I'm not going to go into that. With Stephen, and he was so generous. From my point of view, very generous. It was hard times, all right, but I was always found it was always fair. It was always fair, and just wanted us, all to grow. So I then sought out some other mentors in 2013, I bought that location out. Obviously, we still send our black belts. We all collaborate together when it comes to black belt grading, and I'm trying to, pretty much stay in. We have different things, but we're teaching the same thing. So Stephen and Everton, they're doing their own personal development. So we're all doing personal development, basically, through a variety of things. So I sought out their new mentors. I think just before we left, actually, we were just looking at the I Love Kickboxing program. So me and Stephen went over to the States and really dived into, what's this fitness kickboxing all about? And that's where I picked up my mentor, my next mentor, I suppose, within martial arts business, Michael Perella. And that's why this reception area here is the way it looks, basically. So I was in a not very nice building, but we made do. And he just, gave me a lot of advice on, things to look at. And because I was doing a lot of the mindset or personal development coaching, I thought this is going to be the center. So 5 years ago today, actually, of us recording is when we opened up here. I covered up.
5 years today.
5 years today.
Oh wow!
So we're recording this. Well,
we're celebrating.
On the day of recording, it's the 16th of April, right? So we're recording this on the 16th. So when this goes out, it'll be a few days later. It'll be on the 18th of April, right? So, so the 16th of April, we opened up these doors and covered up all the windows and come in and ripped up. It was whatever it was before. I gutted it and then got someone in to come in and do the work because I'm not the best DIY.
Guys, I did see the pictures of this place, what it looked like before, and it would scare the ghost, if you know what I mean. It wasn't the nicest place, but now, on the other hand, this is my experience. I really love what you've done with it, and I love the atmosphere of this place. And I suppose the question when I asked you, why did you choose this direction? Because the current direction you have is not only martial arts, is the personal development. Where do you want to go with this?
Yeah,
the vision.
Yeah, so the vision. So we're talking 5 years. That we came here 5 years ago, but this was a vision that I had for 5 years. So it's like my vision. I'm now 5 years into a vision I had 10 years ago.
So would you say that it's materializing now?
It's materializing. It's been materializing. So when I came here, obviously, you know, I had I think I'd not long launched my book. Then I was doing a podcast, or the Mindset Explosion, talking about personal development. I'm thinking, oh, I don't quite like this. There's other things I can do. I felt like I built something great. I wanted this area to be about social. I think I said to you the other day, there was a sitcom in the 80s called Cheers, and the theme tune was I want to go where everyone, a place where everyone knows my name and I feel welcome. So that was really, really important to me. And having this just warm, friendly feel that when you walk in, and we haven't even got to the class yet, or the courses or whatever people would be doing. So invested a lot. I've had a bit of wear and tear. I've had quite a lot of wear and tear over the last 5 years, and the pandemic hasn't really helped. So where I want to go, obviously, thank you, because this window feature you've handcrafted, I got to say, it is amazing. And obviously, you come and put your own personal, well, not personal touch, your thought into it, and it worked for me even since. So before we first began our collaboration, right, that we had a well-being event here. It was Nina Jenkins was teaching yoga for a little while. I had Nikki coming in doing bonsai, like a Tai Chi type of stuff. So I wanted this to be well-being. And obviously there's so it kind of was feeding in that way, which is pretty good. Obviously other people, when you got someone else that's coming in, it kind of can work, not work, or people got to move on, and they're all doing great, which is, it's nice to see. So mental health, anything that helps with mental health, building confidence. Obviously we've had this pandemic, it's a huge impact on children and adults. So the direction that I want this to go is to be, it's martial arts, it's fitness, it's personal development, it is a safe zone, friendly, no ego, just people that come in. And I think with the martial arts, if you want to find a fight school, we're probably not for you. I just want to help people. If I was good at football, I would be doing this through football. We'd have a football center, and with the well-being, it's touching on all elements of body, mind, soul. Obviously, we've got a few big quotes in here now that we've all, like me and you, have always been about, really, and empowering people, working on their transformation and their growth, and it's understanding.
I know you also added additional element to everything what you do, because obviously you've gone back to teaching full time, pretty much, and you introduced theme nights, which is completely different take on the kickboxing class which you're doing, and tell me a little bit about that. Because
so the theme nights aren't that they're not that old. They're not that new, excuse me. So we used to
had them before?
Yeah, we used to do them all the time, right? So the first one I think we did, I was still on the high street. So we, again, this is down to my mentor going over to the States. So I've invested, we're not talking hundreds, it's beyond tens of thousands into having the right design on that fitness kickboxing class, the psychology and the science behind it. That's why I was a bit frustrated about some people have copied my stuff, but I don't want to go into that. As in the class plan, I wish them well, but I've put a lot of work into this, and it's not just the investment, it's the time, it's the energy. So that class worked so well. It's been frustrating for me over the last 3 years that I had to cut the class back because of you just couldn't do certain things because people wouldn't have liked it or whatever, and obviously everyone got different thoughts, and the whole of COVID, I'm not going into that either, but the thing is, you can't please everyone.
No, you can't.
And I noticed that I've wanted to get back to certain things within there, and now here we are. So I've put a lot into it. The theme nights are they're a bit of fun, okay, and obviously I've been running these since we relaunched them, I think the back end of last year, right?
Yes.
And it's just I try and make them a little bit harder, but the whole point is it's nice. People have a bit of a laugh and a giggle. So, we got to take our training seriously, but also we got to have some fun when we're doing it, and it makes the seriousness a little bit easier, right?
Well, guys, just to mention that where Matt is running his classes, I'm not talking about the theme nights. Even though they are hard, they are still full of fun. So it's not like the fun is only assigned to the theme nights. Fun is here from my experience, every single day. And I do like, why I asked about the theme nights was, what was the purpose of adding element of fun to everything what we do here? Or what you do here? What is the purpose of that?
What happens when you laugh?
You relax.
You relax. You work some other muscle groups.
All right, so that's the reason.
No, it is about. I want this to be a safe zone, a fun place, and with the theme nights, people don't have to dress up if they don't want to. Sometimes they forget. Oh no, I forgot it's a theme night. Don't worry about it. We're gonna have some fun.
But they've been extremely popular, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They people love them. The last one we did was Wild West.
So what is the next one?
Beach party theme night. And I kind of figured with that one, don't come in a bikini. I didn't think that one through. So, but yeah, don't bring any sand either. People that know me here, I hate sand.
But I'm sure it's gonna be fantastic.
It is, yeah. And I do the classes. It runs a similar format, but a little bit, a bit of a twist on there as well, and special playlist.
So I see.
I get involved.
Summarizing everything what you do here, you've got this like wild spectrum and way of looking at people's health and well-being.
Yeah.
So you are training the physical body. You're helping them to expand their vision, and build their strength and believe in themselves. So whatever they do it with confidence, which is amazing. You're adding lots of different elements that can contribute in people's health and well-being, and you're testing and trying different things because everybody's different, and that is really truly inspiring. And I would like to ask you this final question I have. What are the 3 things you would like the academy to be remembered by?
Well, that we were there when you most needed it, and I think we really proved that in lockdown. Well, I hope I did, because first of all, staff, it was important I kept them on a full wage, even though they were furloughed. So that was really important to me, because it was a dark time. I didn't know what was going to happen. We are still feeling effects of it, so that was important to me. We had a bit of a moment where I'm in here crying, didn't know what's going to happen. Obviously, then we didn't know what was happening with furlough. So that was the first thing, and I'm so glad that. I don't, it's a bit bigging myself up in a way, but it's not. But I was doing 3 classes a day from a living room for fitness kickboxing, and the team actually they volunteered to do some to help out with some martial arts classes, which we gave for free. We gave that to all the members for free, and then some were still a lot. Obviously, it was fearful times. So a lot of people did stop paying, but that was fine. And those that carried on, we gave them that. Carried on, continued paying, they got that 3 months back. Maybe wasn't the smartest business decision in terms of money, but I don't regret it at all, because I've seen the effects of people before a class, then after a class, and as the time went on, I was really noticing that on Zoom, on the Zoom screen, that in their face, their demeanor. I was feeling it a bit myself, to be honest with you. So everything since then is about how do everything I've done, I've made some smart business decisions and some bad business decisions over the last 3 years, but I don't regret them either. It was all about, creating this a safe place, even if I was, stepping out from here to do other things. Everything was for here and to help this place. So I want it to be remembered as a safe place where people made great friendships, and they could come in and be themselves without judgment. We're very diverse here in people's way of life. We're open-minded to it, and that it had some sort of impact on them. And I highlighted a book I wrote, a long time ago, just before, even before we did the fitness kickboxing. This is about children that I'd helped through martial arts, and I strongly believe you get a lot from martial arts anyway. Get a lot from most sports, that, right? But with the personal development added in, and even now I'll get the odd message from some who's now an adult that I was teaching when they were a kid. I'm like, oh my God, it's blown my mind. Oh, Mr. Rudman, they still call me Mr. Rudman. I was at uni the other day, or I've just started my new career in my dream job. Thank you so much for what you taught to me in class all those years ago. Or I still can hear you saying, come on, motivating me, or whatever I would have said. And even with adults, I know one that's just popped in my head now, that I think she at the time should have been late 40s, sorry, if not, single mum, 4 children, and maybe a bit stuck and something I'd said, and she went off and did a master's in psychology.
Wow.
And that's her business now. So
you never know.
You never know. You never know. Even beyond that side of martial arts, when we've done podcasting and the mindset explosion, you never know who's listening. You never know who's watching that. And I've had, again, it's the messages has come through. What you said. I'm sorry, I don't like commenting on things, and been watching you for, listening to what you're saying, but it's really helping me at the moment. Thank you. So that's how I want this to be remembered, that, it is a safe place, and it's where people can come and train without judgment. You don't need to be super fit. You don't need
I love the quote you have on the wall.
What's that? Yeah, it's off my other mentor,
Rob
Moore. Yeah.
Now, get perfect later. Don't wait for the perfect moment.
That's it. You just got to get started. Exist. Yeah, perfection. Perfection. Don't worry about that. But we get better as we go, and that's how I've had to do everything. Yeah. I started, and I wasn't great at things, and I've had to learn, really the hard way. Yeah. And
I've heard this great saying that really stuck with me, and it says, perfectionism is a killer of progress.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I can raise both of my hands that there are main reasons why I have not accomplished some of the things I wanted to accomplish. It was because I wanted to get them perfect first. Mm-hmm. And this is the wrong way around. So wrong. So
it's funny with the book, right?
Yes.
Again, this is one of the mentors. It says, you need to write a book.
I'm
blah, blah, blah.
You're going
to put that, right?
I was meant to mention that earlier.
And these are just case studies. And I got the cover done, and got the name of the book, mm-hmm. and put it up on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I hadn't written a single thing. So basically, I had 90 days to write it. It allows you to do this. So I didn't know what I was going to put in there. I just knew what the title was.
Well, that was a great start.
Yeah, that was what we were told to do. This, so do that, put it out, and if you don't do it, again, sometimes it's just everyone's different. So for me, if you don't do it, you'll have bad footing to do another book with Amazon, which I haven't done yet. But so that's what I did. Put it out. Right, okay. What now? What? Here's my title. Confident Kid Power, was it? Release your child's full potential with martial arts. How am I going to do this? So I started one way, and I thought, actually, I'm going to look at some people I've taught.
And that's brilliant, because basically having real life case studies.
Yeah.
Right? Help me with this word, testimonials.
Testimonials, pretty much.
It's just proof in the pudding.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It's a proof in the pudding. So guys, if you would like to get one of Matt's books, you can get them from Amazon.
It's such an easy read.
Confident Kid Power. I'm going to just bring it closer to you. I suppose we could share a link to that book as well, if you're interested. And on that note, I would like to wrap it up and just thank you very much for this interview and just sharing the insights, and your story with us. Even though I thought, I know Matt pretty well, I've learned some things today that I didn't know before. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And thank you for continuing job and what you're doing, and how full-hearted, because I can't call it any other way, how you push towards the vision and you want to serve people.
Oh yeah, listen, that's one of the things because I was spinning so many plates last year. Sorry, I know we're about to wrap up, but my vision has always been, well, part of what I do. I understand more than ever, my role is to serve, and with an open heart, from the heart. Some people may not always understand that. That's okay. Don't worry about it. But that has always had the best intentions for staff, for members, for everything. But obviously, you can't please everybody. No. And actually, part of the vision of well-being is being a well-being centre. Obviously, we're collaborating, and that's great, because then I haven't got to spin that plate. We've got an expert as yourself that's here offering all that side of things, as well as the martial arts. And because you're martial arts based, it just slots in perfectly. Is to be I want one of the most professional, not the most professional centre, and to get back on. It got a bit depleted in here because we had to shift things around again. It's just because of COVID, but allowed it to stay that way a bit too long. So it's nice to have this area back. It's nice to the comments we've had this last few weeks. Oh my god, it looks so nice, and about the little touches that you can't see right now, basically. But yeah, it's and it's come at a nice time. 5 years on from being in the building, it's time for 5 is the number of change. So
it is.
We're on the next leg of the journey. And I've been saying to members that my goal of 2018 to have more well-being in the centre now, and we got obviously Angg Woo well-being here right now. So along with the podcast, I feel like I'm probably going to spend more time on the Inner Power podcast and Mindset Explosion, because I just can't be everywhere all at once. Is hitting that. It's hit that target. So it's we got some other targets to hit now, which we will probably share over the next where we're going. So where we're going is more well-being, some peak performance stuff. I want to work some professionals as well, and hit these elements, not just one target in one area. There you go.
And I can talk to him in like 4 hours.
Yeah,
he's like, So on that note, we're just gonna cut it down, and I'm not gonna ask any more questions, and I'm not gonna be wrapping up.
My gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna say one more thing. I've had some tough times, and this is something that you helped me with. I was talking to a friend last night. Is just stick with it. You're just shaking off the rubbish, and at the end, you're left with it. So stay with your dream. It can feel hard at times. You don't be afraid to mess up. Don't be afraid to take a risk. There's always a way, and people will come and go, and just wish them well. That's that. But stay true to your dream, okay? Because you're responsible for it. And I think where things may be depleted, I've allowed other people's dreams to kind of slip in a little bit. So and that's my fault, not anyone else's.
Okay, Matt. Last word.
Last word. Bye.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.